Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we are covering job management and best practices. This webinar will cover what a job is in WEX FSM. We'll do a job page overview, appointment status and visuals, multi-appointment jobs, flag for follow-up, and some job reporting to manage your jobs in bulk. We'll have our live Q&A at the end. If you do have any questions, you can put those in the chat, or we'll go over everything or any questions that you have at the end. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into WEX FSM. All right, so today's topic is all about jobs and job management. And if this is your first time looking at the software, I just like to give a little foundation of what a job actually is. What does that look like? So I'm going to search for one of my customers, Mary Smith, typing her name in the top right. And since Mary is in my customer list, I'm going to click on Mary, and that will bring me to Mary Smith's customer page. Each customer that you have has a customer profile, and anytime you create a job for them, that will show up here. So we can see these gray rectangles are jobs. The red number you see is the job number, and you can also name your jobs as you create them, and you'll see those job names here. We can see we've done a lot of work with Mary. There's a lot of jobs here. And if I'm looking for something specific, I can just type what I'm looking for, maybe AC unit, and then it'll pull up here. You can search by job number, job name, and if you want, you can click on the little red arrows here, and that will give you a drop down that shows you everything that's inside of this job without having to actually click in and go into the job itself. So that does come in handy. And as you create jobs, this timeline will fill up with these job boxes here. Now, if you want to create a job, you can do that from the quick actions. So in here, every customer page has a quick action. And I just want to create a job. So I will click Create New Job Form. Click on that. And now we have some options for creating a new job. You can create a new job per location. So as I click this drop down, you will see all the different locations that this customer has. And then you will select a job type. Job types are going to help you with reporting. So when you go to look at your jobs, you'll want to set which type of job they are. And then if I want to look up, how much money did I make in installs last month? You'll be able to do that because you've been setting all your installs as a install job type over time. Job name, what do you want to recall this as? If you don't give these jobs a name, you'll only be able to see the job number, and you might not know right away what that job is about. However, if you name your job, like furnace install, I know that this is a furnace install now at first glance without having to click in and do research. Now, when you are creating a job from here, you can create the job only with no proposal or invoice in the job folder, or you can create a proposal or an invoice. Let's create a job with nothing in it, and then we can see how we would add something to it. So I'm going to do save job. And that has now created a job. We are now inside of the job. I like to think of jobs as digital file folders, and we're like inside the folder right now. This is for my customer, Mary Smith, at this address. We have different sections. So you can create appointments and service requests from here by clicking New. You can create proposals from here. You can create purchase orders, and you can create invoices and take payments. Now, this is a empty job. We just created this, but I do have an example of a job that's already filled out and has items in it. So let's see an example of what a real job may look like and all the different options you have for jobs once you create them. Now that we are in this job, we can see this is a general service call. I have named the job. If you want to update the name of the job, just click the edit pencil and type in a new name here. And then we have a job tracker, kind of like if you order pizza and it's, preparing, being made, being delivered, on its way, whatever. So this is now showing us, have you created all your appointments, proposals, purchase orders, invoice the customer, taken payment. And you can just get a gauge of how far along the job process you are. Job summary, there's a ton of stuff in here, so we're just going to go one by one. Job status, is this open, closed, or abandoned? The job type, we talked about this earlier. What type of job is this? And this will help you with your reporting because you can filter by job type. Before we move to the next one, so with job type, just as a pro tip, if you're not sure where to update or add job types, you can always go to settings, jobs, job types. Your system will come with some very generic job types, but based on the different types of jobs that you do, and more importantly, the ones you want to track in your reporting, you'll want to come here and add those or customize the ones that are already here. But this is where you set up your job types. Again, that is settings, jobs, job types. All right, going back to our job. The job price, this is going to be what is the pricing that this job will take on. Standard price will just, when you pull an item from the price book onto a proposal or invoice, it will just be the standard price that is set in your price book. If you have a customer who is a maintenance plan customer in your system, it will automatically apply the maintenance plan discount. And you have other modifiers that you can create that will allow you to change to whatever you want, percentage, discount, or increase. So if this was someone in the military that we're servicing, I could change this to the military discount. And now the customer will get 15% off when I create the invoice and charge them. So to set up your job pricing, your pricing strategies, you will go to More Applications, Price Book, Pricing Defaults. And the standard price will be whatever your cost is times the markup multiplier here to give you your standard price. Maintenance plan pricing, let's say you want to give 10% off all your parts for future jobs for your maintenance plan customers, set that pricing here. And then these you can change to whatever you want. I just typed in friends and family, 15%, military discount, 20. And after hours is plus 25%. So if I'm doing an after hours job, maybe we charge extra for that. And I add that percentage here. When you're on the job, you can update and change pricing here, but you do need to set up that pricing from the More Applications, Price Book, Pricing Defaults page. All right. Now these buttons down here, calls and notes, those are going to be any notes that have been added to the job so you can see reference. If you're using checklists, documenting equipment, adding attachments like photos, before and after pictures, send out review requests asking your customers to give you a review for a job well done, user allocation for tracking if you want to give like a commission to your uh, technicians, and profit and loss. Each job will track how much money you made on that job and let you see your profit and loss. But in order for that to be correct, you want to make sure that your product cost is correct and that your labor cost is set. If these two things are not correct, then this final number will not be correct. So, product cost, if you want to make sure that your product cost is correct, then go to your price book, more applications, price book, my price book, and just make sure that the items in your price book have a cost associated with them. So each item in here will have a cost. As long as this cost is correct here, when that gets factored into the job, it'll pull the cost and we'll have a correct product cost from here. For the labor cost, that will come from your technician clocking in and out of the job, and it will pull from their labor rate. To set your labor rate, let's say for your technicians, you will do that from settings, user management, users. From here, we can click on any user. So let's go to my field technician, Dustin Bailey. And I just want to update his labor cost per hour. This is asking how much does it cost you to pay this user for 1 hour of their time. So we've got Dustin set to $40 an hour. When he goes out and does a job, he will then clock in and clock out of that job through the WEX FSM mobile app, and then that will pull his labor cost per hour, giving us a correct labor cost here. And then you'll know that your profit and loss reporting numbers are correct. Okay. Opportunity. Now, this is if you want to track opportunities for a close rate. So let's say that you do installs, and for those installs, you always make a proposal or an estimate, and you show it to the customer. They have to either approve or decline, and you want a way to track your win rate. How often are customers approving jobs and or declining? If you know that this is a job that you want to consider in the, I guess, the close rate percentage, turn this on. Opportunity should be on for that. If this is just a one and done job, you're not making a proposal, you don't think that this should be included in your close rate, turn opportunity off. Opportunity will be off by default. So, maybe most of your jobs are single family home residential. You're not doing a proposal. It's just you do the work, you charge them at time of service. But for your bigger jobs, you'll turn on opportunities so you can track those as a win-loss rate. Last thing in this section is flag for follow-up. But let's do that. Yep, we're gonna go over flag for follow-up a little later in the presentation. So let's move on. Also within a job, we mentioned it has 4 different sections. Once you add appointments, that will show up here. We can see that there's 2 appointments. You can have as many appointments as you want per job. Uh, so, If you're thinking of each appointment as the job, just know you've got the job is your main home, and you can do as many individual appointments within that job as you need to. Proposals and financing. So you can create proposals. Once a proposal is created, you can click the PDF icon to look at what the proposal looks like. If you're ready to convert to invoice, you can convert to invoice by clicking here, and that will then convert it to an invoice. Proposal comparisons allow you to create sort of a good, better, best scenario. You can pull in up to 9 proposals and showcase them. The system will put them in this nice comparison view for you. And then you can also order parts. You can actually create purchase orders and send them to your suppliers to fulfill orders for parts. And lastly, we have invoices and payments. You can view the invoice by clicking the PDF icon. Quickly send it to your customer with the paper airplane icon. And if you do send this to a customer, you can always hover over the clock here to see a timestamp of when that was sent. Any payments that are made are also recorded below. All right, so that is an overview of what you will see on each job page. Next, let's see appointment status and visuals. So we're going to go to back to the schedule page. And when you're working in the office, you're not seeing what's going on out in the field. Then the only way you may get an update is if one of your technicians calls you and lets you know where they're at, what they're doing. With WEX FSM, it makes it very easy to see what's going on out in the field at a glance. If a appointment has been created, which is what we see here, the appointment will show up on the dispatch board. If you hover over the appointment, it will show you a snapshot of what is going on with the appointment. And when you create an appointment, it will create a new job and put that appointment in that job. So we can see here, we created this appointment and it created job 15602. And if I want to go into this job, I can simply click on the link here. And now, we're in the job. But if the job has not been worked yet, the technician has not clocked in, it's just going to be the color that you see on the board. So the color is represented by the job type. So this is a service call, so it's red. If it was a maintenance job, it might be purple. But this is red. I can see that the technician has not clocked in. Nothing is happening yet. However, if I go, let's say that the technician says that they are en route to the job. They'll update the status out in the field with the mobile app, and you in the office will see moving dotted lines. I know that Mark is on the way to the job because I can see those dotted lines are moving. Once the tech gets to the job, they will change the status to at job. And then in the office, you'll see just a dotted outline. It's no longer moving. So now I know this user is at the job doing the work. When the appointment is complete, they will mark this as complete, out in the field. And you will see in the office, it's been updated to gray. And gray means that this has been an appointment that is complete. So technically, your day to day, you're going to get to the end of your workday, and all the appointments here should be gray, meaning that the appointment was completed. Even if the job is not complete and you need to go back for a second visit, a callback, the appointment should still be completed because the job is still open, but that appointment, even though we still need to come back, is complete. Speaking of multiple appointments and callbacks, let's now jump into a job that has multiple appointments and let's use the flag for follow-up feature. To do this, I've already pulled up an example job. And let's see, 14174. Yes. Okay. So I'm on a job. If I look below here, I can see we have been out on the 16th, the 18th, and the 23rd of February. I even tagged these as visit one, visit two, visit three. And, let's say this is just a job that requires multiple visits. Now, if you have a job where you need to remember some type of follow-up, the flag for follow-up feature is really helpful. If I click on flag for follow-up, that will allow me to add a flag to this. So follow-up type, let's say that we needed to order a part. I can select part order. I can assign this if, let's say there's someone who does the ordering of parts. Allison, let's say, does all of our part orders. I can assign this to Allison, and then she can pull up anything that is assigned to her. And then I like to put the date. Now, these are just notes, so whatever you would want to write here, but maybe I would write something like today is 6/9/26. Part is needed for this job and save. A new flag has been created. We can see the flag on the job. And if you want to check on all of your flags, there is a quick access right here. Click on that, and that will take you to the job list with flag jobs shown only. And we can see here are the flags. Click on a flag to see what it is. You can even mark flags as complete, update, save, and that will update flags. So this job list from the flags quick access button is where you can manage all your flags in bulk. But if you're on the job individually and you need to update a flag, you can just click on the flag. And let's say 6/14 part installed, job complete. Oops. And then let's mark that as complete and save. And there we go. Now the flag has been removed and this is ready to continue. You can even come over and close the job status if you want as well. All right. Next, and this will be the last topic before we get into our Q&A, is looking at some job reporting. So to get to the reporting page, in the main navigation in the top left, we have reporting. Just click on that. And that will bring you to the reporting page. From here, we're looking for the job summary report. So we're going to go under the jobs section. It says job summary. And we're all about job management. And a best practice would be to come to the job summary page. Maybe you want to set your date range to, this week, last month, whatever date range you want. You can now just kind of see the basic overall status of each job. So right now I can see that we have a service call. where that was created on the 5th, and an appointment was scheduled, but it wasn't completed. There were no proposals made and no invoices. So today's the 9th. What happened here? And maybe now I want to do a little research. Like, did we not complete this? Or did someone just forget to input it in the system? But being able to know whether all appointments have been scheduled and completed and that some type of proposal or invoice was created is huge. And just making sure that your operations are staying nice and fluid. But that is main use case for this, and you can also isolate by job type, and you can search by customer location or job number. All right, so that is all the information we have for today's presentation. I hope that you learned something. We're going to move to our Q&A now, but before we do, I just want to say thank you so much for joining. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Job Management and Best Practices.